Welcome to the Atheist in Recovery podcast, where we talk about finding hope in recovery. And now your host, Dr. Adina Silvestri.
Konnichiwa, guys, and welcome to episode 77 of the Atheists in Recovery podcast. And so we are back from our December pause, and I wanted to talk about 3 things to let go of and 3 things to hold on to in the new year. This is an exercise that my clients seem to really be enjoying. So I wanted to bring it to the podcast, bring it to the listeners, and also interweave hypnotherapy into this because it's such a huge part of my work in helping individuals in recovery. So hypnotherapy can be a highly effective tool for those in early stages of recovery, as well as for those in the maintenance stage and in later stages of recovery. Hypnotherapy addresses those feelings we work so hard to push down or dismiss. By utilizing deep relaxation techniques with guided imagery, hypnotherapy can help remove physical barriers to recovery, such as the body's symptoms of withdrawal, anxiety, muscle tension, spasm, and pain, along with reinforcing the commitment to sobriety or your individualized recovery. So while breaking these maladaptive habits or bad habits, or when overcoming an addiction, we need to unify our subconscious mind with our conscious mind so that they together can agree on the same things and you can begin the recovery process. And hypnotherapy is great at tapping into the subconscious mind. So in today's episode, we will embark on the new year. And I want to outline 3 things to let go of in the form of verbs. And maybe these are 3 things that you want to hold on to. Whichever you decide, I think it's good to have just a deep dive into these verbs. And you may ask, why verbs, Adina? Well, why not? We learn these verbs at a very, very young age. And to me, it sort of sets the groundwork to how we react, how we interpret the world, how we interact with ourselves, with others. I mean, I think that it's huge. So let's talk about these 3 verbs, how you can apply it to your recovery, and also your everyday life, how you can apply it to your finances, how you can apply it to your sexual story, and of course, your relationships with self and other. So the first verb, number 1, to ask. This one is most often cited as negative with my guys, and by guys, I mean guys and girls. The verb to ask is met with, gruff comments, with looks, why would I ask for anything? I'm self-sufficient is what I'll hear in the office. Or I put myself in a position so that I don't need anything from anyone ever. This is another comment I hear pretty often. And so we're going to listen to a story about Anne in a minute. But to ask is a really good verb to sort of even write down on a piece of paper, look at it, hold it in your hand, and kind of just be aware of what feelings and thoughts come to your mind. Okay. Number 2, the verb to take. And so this has an uncomfortable vibe to it for sure. And perhaps it means moving something that needs to not be there in this new life. You're taking this object that triggers you and you're removing it from your environment. So I think that is sort of a less uncomfortable vibe. It can mean anything, I guess is what I'm saying. It to take can mean anything. You have to really be aware of what it brings up for you. And so for the guys that I work with, to take is something that they cite pretty often as one that they want to work on in the new year. And by work on, I mean maybe let go of. But it doesn't have to be a negative. It could be positive. So if you are thinking of it in a different way, then you might want to hold on to it. You want to strengthen that muscle a little bit more. Number 3, to receive. Well, out of the verbs mentioned already, to receive is definitely less cringy. It's still worth mentioning, however. To receive help when offered is what I think of to receive, but that might not be what you think of. Maybe to receive praise or compliments, maybe to have an open heart and mind for whatever the season brings your way, have an open heart and mind for whatever politics your family may bring up. Yeah, to receive. So let's talk a little bit about Anne for a minute. Anne is struggling with vulnerability as she toggles between two worlds. One is her management position at an upscale restaurant, and the other is her desire to quit drinking for the good of her health and to be this role model for her young child. For Anne, she is happy to be a mentor to those in the restaurant world. She wins many awards for her service. When asked how mentorship makes her feel, she lists off a litany of feel-good emotions needed, good Samaritan, good role model, and, for those starting out, really, really good adjectives there. When prompted to talk about who is helping her when things get overwhelmed at work or home, this brings Anne to tears. She drinks because she's overwhelmed with raising a rambunctious, sometimes doesn't listen, which I guess is the same thing, 5-year-old with her husband who's always traveling, but she's unwilling to share that burden with others. She says to me, I am the strong one in my friend circle. What would they think of me if they knew I feel like a fraud when I wake up most mornings? If you ask Anne, she would say the verb she needs to focus on in the new year is definitely to ask. In fact, we joke that she needs to wear a big sign around her neck, like in the movie 28 Days with Sandra Bullock, ask me if it looks like I may need help. So with hypnotherapy, we work to strengthen this verb through visualization and a tailored script that Anne and I work on together. Whenever she feels triggered or activated, we return to those grounding spots that she identifies early on in the hypnotherapy and in the script to help her with the physical and mental barriers and reinforce her commitment to recovery. So in conclusion, what verb would you pick? Would you pick to ask, to take, to receive? Would there be another verb altogether that you would pick to strengthen or to let go of? Let me know. Hit me up on social or email me, and I look forward to learning more about your verb and how you're going to strengthen that muscle in the upcoming year. And if you're interested in learning more, I provide hypnotherapy to individuals in Virginia and in my office worldwide via Zoom. And so you could always head over to atheistsinrecovery.com and message me there. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Have a good one. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Atheists in Recovery podcast. For more great info and to stay up to date, head over to atheistsinrecovery.com.